wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Good morning, area.
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come
on! Well, it's official. If you didn't already gather that from the regular season, Warriors have a road problem. Folks, they now face an 0-2 deficit to the Sacramento Kings. Draymond Green gets ejected. Davion Mitchell hitting clutch shots. De'Aaron Fox being the NBA's most clutch player. He's probably going to win that award whenever that comes out. The Golden State Warriors are in trouble. 888-570. That's the number. Call or text. YouTube, Twitch, up and running. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Pregame Show. I am your host, Joe Spadoni. And for the next hour, we are going to dissect the madness that what took place last night, where the Warriors stand now. And listen, they're going to have to write history. No time ever in their franchise history have the Golden State Warriors come back from an 0-2 deficit in the playoffs. It has never happened. 0-9 all time when facing an 0-2 deficit. Can they rewrite history? Draymond Green, we're going to hear from him. Steve Kerr, we're going to hear from him. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. And I guess we have to start with the stomp heard around the world. Stomp the yard. Get all the puns out now, folks. Today's the day to do it. Domantas Sabonis grabs Draymond Green's leg with about, 7 minutes to go? Little over that. 7:03 remaining in the fourth quarter. Draymond running back out. Sabonis on the ground. Tangled up. Sabonis grabs his leg. Draymond tries to release himself. Stomps his chest. Gets out of it. And it's funny. I've been seeing this in a lot of articles. We're going out of our way to not call it a stomp on some articles. I'm looking run right now. Kendra Andrews, ESPN, covers the team, formerly of NBC Sports Bay Area. Draymond Green ejected after hard step to Domantas Sabonis' chest. Up a hard step. So now we're even trying to call it a step and not a stomp. Does stomp somehow, does that insinuate there was intent involved? Was Draymond Green trying to send a message? Was he just trying to get released? Was he frustrated? Physical game throughout. Very physical. And you know what? Sacramento Kings, they deserve that win. Stomp aside and Sabonis leg grabbing aside, the Sacramento Kings have been the better team in this series, which I did not think was going to happen. I thought the cream was going to rise. I think a lot of Dub Nation at 888-957-9570 thought the cream was going to rise. Oh, the road record. We're not going to worry about that in the regular season. Why should we? We're the champs. We have 4 rings the last decade. I'm not worrying about that. The regular season, we don't care about the regular season. A road record. Get that S out of here. Please. Well, 2 road games to start the playoffs, you're 0-2. So it's officially a problem. Can we all admit that now? Can we admit that the road record is an issue? Good morning to KM Johnson, EJ, Brandon, AK, all y'all in the YouTube chat. Line them up. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. Call or text that number. I know you're up early, Warriors folks. Dub Nation. Hell, Kings fans call in. Pump those chests. I know you want to. We welcome all here on the pregame show, all the pregamers. Whether you're a Kings fan, a Warriors fan, hell, Sixers fans, all y'all. Draymond Green is going to be the talk of a lot of today, but I'm just here to say right now that wasn't the reason they lost, but it would have been nice to have Draymond down the stretch there when De'Aaron Fox was picking and popping and getting everything he wanted in the paint. You don't think they missed him then? I know they tied the game after Draymond had already gotten ejected. I know that happened, but I also know they took the L. And in late game situations, do I want my best defensive player out on the floor in Draymond Green? My DPOY candidate, I believe he finished, fifth in voting this year? Jarrett Jackson Jr. came away with the award. They released that yesterday. Oh, I have it right here. Someone just left it. Fourth, actually. Right above Bam Adebayo and right below Evan Mobley. You don't think you want that guy, DPOY candidate, Draymond Green in the final few minutes? Listen, I know I've been dissecting the video. It's going to be playing on all our screens constantly. I'm already looking at it. Get Up on ESPN in the studio here. They're showing it. Domantas Sabonis instigated that. He absolutely did. And he knew what he was doing. Playoff basketball, stuff like that's going to happen. Call it dirty. Call it that's not basketball. Call it whatever you want. It worked. He baited Draymond. Draymond took the bait, stomped him, hard step, and he got ejected. Flagrant 2, night-night. And night-night for the Golden State Warriors in that game as they fall down 0-2. You just can't get ejected in that game. You cannot put yourself in that situation. Do what you got to do. Fall over. You can't stomp on the guy's chest. You can't. I understand everyone's trying to say, I was watching the post game with Bonte, Darrell Wright, Festus Ezeli doing a great job at NBC Sports Bay Area. And after the game, they're talking about, like, they all thought that he was just trying to get up. I was like, yeah, but you can't put all that weight and put it on a guy's chest or stomach, whatever the hell it was. Now, Sabonis went after the game to a local hospital, I guess, got x-rays on his lungs, all that sort of stuff. But it looked bad. And if you want to call it a reputation foul, I'm fine with that because Draymond Green, throughout his career, has built up this reputation. If you want to use the argument, if that was Steph Curry, if that was Klay Thompson, yeah, if that was Steph Curry or that was Klay Thompson, they would not have been ejected. Because they, unlike Draymond, have shown in the past, they don't do stuff like that. Draymond, throughout his playoff career, not just regular season, but playoffs. Do we have to go all the different times? What he's done in the past in the playoffs to get ejected? Shoving LeBron baited him, and listen, that cost them a championship. Now Sabonis baited Draymond again, and that could cost them potentially another championship. Hell, they might even get to the first round. Can't take the bait. Sabonis was looking for it, he was fishing, and he got rewarded, and so did the Sacramento Kings. That's ultimately what happened and what took place last night at Golden One Center. Were you there? Were you not there? Kings fans, Warrior fans, where are you at? 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. Brandon Cadiz, despite the Dre ejection, Dubs still tied it late in the game, but could not close it out in crunch time. That's what I'm saying. I don't care that they tied it. You need your best defensive player in the game late. You don't think he's going to help out on both sides of the ball? Your 4-time NBA champion, the guy who's probably going to go to the Hall of Fame. Not even probably. He is. Steph, Dre, and Klay, they're all going to the Hall of Fame. Draymond, and I can't wait for the pod to come out, he needs to be there in the last few minutes, last 7 minutes. I don't care that they tied it. He needed to be there in the final closing minutes of the game. He wasn't. They lost. And now they're facing an 0-2 deficit. And they've never come back from that. In their franchise's history, 0-9 all time. Can they rewrite history? Will they? It's going to start Thursday at the Chase Center. And I cannot freaking wait for that game. It's going to be fiery. Chase Center is going to be electric. Golden One was electric last night. And there was just no way, after seeing that happen on the replay, And Sabonis, listen, they admitted as much that he started it because they gave him a foul, but they thought the stomp was excessive. I also thought it was a little much. Adam Silver, commissioner, was in the crowd, and he ordered the code red.
Did you order the code red? You're damn right I did.
Just had to be done. Got ejected. That was A Few Good Men, if I'm not mistaken. Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise. Little good flick. You should check that out. Aaron Sorkin, great script writer. Here's Draymond Green talking about what actually, before we get to Draymond, I need to hear the great Tim Roy, as it was called right here on 95.7 The Game. I was flipping through back and forth with both broadcasts, TNT, NBC Sports, Bay Area. I'm sure Fitz was on one yesterday, but I was listening to, who was it? Brian Anderson, Jim Jackson. Check that, Iron Eagle, Jim Jackson. Jim Jackson is actually doing a hell of a job. He's so good as a color analyst. And Iron Eagle is one of the best in the biz. What doesn't matter, football, basketball, hell, like I could be all cricket, I'd be locked in. But here's how it sounded last night, the flagrant 2 on Draymond Green getting involved with Domantas Sabonis.
Rebound, Draymond gets away, and it's a technical foul on Draymond Green for stomping Sabonis as he tried to get out of the way up the floor. And Draymond might get a flagrant foul and get ejected here. Sabonis still down. Gary Payton II being asked politely by Zach Zarba to rejoin his bench now. And Andre Iguodala comes out to midcourt to get him.
Ooh, can't do that.
No, he can't. That's just not good.
Draymond just stepped right on his chest.
Yeah. He's going to get tossed for that, I think. Maybe he was suspended. And they're going to take a long look at this. This is not good for Draymond Green and the Warriors. That is just not good. And right as the Warriors were coming back, Tom.
Yep. And
I think
he kind of fell against Draymond's leg, so that
he held him.
Draymond,
He held him.
Then, yeah, but
you can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't stomp a guy's chest.
The review. We have a couple fouls. One, a technical foul on the Kings, number 10, Domantas Sabonis, for holding the leg of Draymond Green. We had a flagrant foul penalty 2 charged to the Warriors. Number 23, Draymond Green.
All right, so Draymond
results in a player ejection.
So Zach Zarba and Draymond have a nice conversation. Draymond heads to the locker room. And the scary thing here, Tom, is again, what will the league do? And the other part about it, the Warriors had momentum.
Yep.
They were coming back.
Yep. And I think that was probably the right call to make.
I think so.
Yeah, because I think, Sabonis deserved a tech for holding his leg. And like you said, if you just shake it loose and don't do that, you get the tech, keep the momentum. You step on him, get kicked out.
I think that was a frustrated reaction right there.
Yep. To say the least, that was Tim Roy and Tom Tolbert on the call right here on 95.7 The Game. Your home for all Golden State Warriors playoff coverage. And if you saw me on Twitch and YouTube, and we are live on Twitch and YouTube, I was just laughing. Who was the head crew chief last night? Someone on the YouTube chat or someone texting at 888-957-9570. That guy was announcing that with so much emphasis and so much glee, it sounded like he's been waiting for this moment his whole life. He's been assessed a flagrant foul penalty 2. Draymond Green has been ejected. I was like, okay, Mean Gene. All right, Paul Heyman. What are we doing? He did. Brandon Cadiz was totally like that. Announced it like a WWE superstar monologue. Man, that was a moment. That was absolutely a moment, and one of many in Draymond Green's illustrious playoff career. But that's, again, one of those moments. Add it to the Steven Adam kick in the nuts, the shove of LeBron James stepping over him, and now the stomp heard around the world, stomp the yard, Draymond Green. And will he be suspended next game? You heard Tim Roy there. You just can't do that. And Mike Brown, after the game, he was talking about it. He's like, I'm hoping the league's going to review that. I don't know what they're going to come out, but I'm sure he wants Draymond suspended for the next game as well. Will that happen? How much will they take into account Domantas Sabonis yanking at his leg? I mean, they called him a tech there. Steph Curry made his tech. Sabonis didn't, then he made his next two. And then the momentum, I'm not going to say shifted totally because, again, like you have all mentioned on the Comcast Business Text line on the YouTube chat, they tied the game after that. It was after that kind of 2-minute mark there where Fox was clutch, right? Davion Mitchell, clutch. Harrison Barnes, underrated, man. Harrison freaking Barnes. You don't think this series means a lot to him? Do you see the dunks he was having, yelling in Klay Thompson's face? This is personal for him. He's taken out on the Warriors. And you know what? The Warriors, they look like the softer team in this first two series at Golden One Center. They look softer, which I can't believe I'm saying. A team that has hung their hat on defense. They were softer than the Sacramento Kings. And this has been a very, very physical series, which is I wasn't expecting. Very physical game two. First one, a little back and forth, hot. Let's go to Jeff in Philly. Jeff, you're on 95.7 The Game, the pregame show. What's going on, man?
Big Warriors fan. Ever since Joe Lowe and Dibs, in the morning.
Let's go.
All right, so first of all, Mike Brown. I mean, how Sacramento has been pushing on the Warriors when they're going around screens, always laying the body. Everybody is touching on every player from the Warriors, making sure that they're hit. So they're not getting clean shots. They're not really getting comfortable on the floor. Mike Brown, he knows the defense. All right, so another reason, Jordan Poole. I've never been a Jordan Poole believer. Turnovers, terrible shots. This dude is not Steph Curry. He's not Klay Thompson. Put Moses Moody in the game. Andrew Wiggins, a rough season for Andrew. Didn't score in the first quarter. He had, I don't know how many points he had, but it just wasn't a good game. And unfortunately, I didn't want Phoenix, and here we are with Sacramento, and I don't know, man. I hopefully it's not the end of Dub Nation.
No, yeah.
Rough, man.
Thanks for the call, Jeff. Appreciate you. That's Jeff from Philly chiming in there. Little dejected Warriors fan. And listen, I'm not Wiggins. I actually thought played a pretty good game, all things considered. He was hitting some big shots to keep them in the game for the most part. Ended with 22 points. Steph Curry, 28 points. 3 of 13 from beyond the arc's not going to get it done. Klay Thompson, I think the stat line on offense looked better than what his overall performance was. Because on the defensive end, it just was not great. He was a minus 11 overall in the plus-minus category, and that kind of fits. But 21 points for him. Gary Payton, 13 points. Like, he was playing his ass off. But 0 from Dante DiVincenzo. 4 from Jordan Poole. You brought Moses Moody in there for a little bit. Actually, I liked Moody's energy. It would have been nice if Moody was playing consistently all year round and playing more at the start of the season. But here we are in the playoffs, and we're just going to thrust him in and expect a lot out of the kid. Had 4 points. I thought he was gritty. He was getting rebounds. He had 5 of them in the short amount of time that he played, only 8 minutes. But to your point, Jeff, Jordan Poole, that sort of performance, making $100+ million, yeah, it's not going to cut it. And the chatter's only going to get louder from Dub Nation. Why'd we pay this guy early again? And I know he's going to be the punching bag, pun intended. Shout out One Punch Man himself, Draymond Green, now One Stomp Man, Stomp the Yard. But it's a collective. I'm looking at the veterans. Stephen Curry's getting hounded out there by the Sacramento Kings. Mitchell, Fox, Monk, all these guys are just hounding Stephen Curry. And he got to the line last night, 7 of 8. Not as much as probably he would have liked. He's damn near begging for a call every single time he's going to the rack. And they can't give it to him every single time, but I'm sure he's getting fouled every other one. But listen, they're taking a toll on him. There was a couple air balls I saw last night from Stephen Curry. Air balls. Now shooters are going to shoot. He can come back at Chase Center, game 3, and light them up. They run away victory. And you know what? Everyone's feeling a lot better about themselves. But as it stands today, right now, Tuesday, April 18th, 2023, the year of our Lord, it's not looking too hot for the Golden State Warriors. The road problem is now officially a real problem for them. Yeah, it was just a regular season one before, but it's happened in the playoffs now. Do we understand that now, Dub Nation? That this is a real thing? Winning on the road for this team is a legit struggle, and they are now going to have to do it 2 more times. Check that. Yeah, 2 more times, right? If they want to do it, 4 more, I get it. You can win 4 in a row, do that, all that sort of stuff. Long story short, they're going to have to win 4 of the next 5, and can they do that? Can they do that? 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. Will they do that? Can they? Yes. I've seen what they've done in the past. I have seen what they have done against Oklahoma City Thunder down 3-1 and coming all the way back in a Western Conference Finals. Game 6, Clay. I remember witnessing that. One of the greatest performances in the history of the NBA in the playoffs. Will they is the thing. Because this is what we've been saying all year long. Can they win the title? Sure. A handful of teams can, but I don't know if they will. It's starting to become more and more a reality that this team might not win an NBA championship and that this last dance is a true last dance. Now, can they rewrite history? Draymond Green was talking about that yesterday at the podium, talking about the stomp, all that. Let's listen to some Draymond Green sound. First, here's him walking us through what happened with the ejection.
Draymond, can you just walk us through what happened there?
My leg got grabbed. Second time in 2 nights. Referees just watch it. I got to land my foot somewhere. And I'm not the most flexible person, so it's not stretching that far.
Draymond, can you just walk us through what happened there?
My leg got grabbed. Second time in 2 nights. Referees just watch it. I got to land my foot somewhere. And I'm not the most flexible person, so it's not stretching that far.
So you didn't really see where you were stepping? You just kind of...
I can only step so far. I'm pulling my leg away. So it is what it is.
It is what it is. He's not a very flexible person. That was his excuse for stomping on Domantas Sabonis yesterday after Sabonis did grab his leg. Again, I'm going to say it. It was a savvy move from Domantas Sabonis. Dub Nation might not want to hear that this morning, but LeBron James, he knew what he was doing in Cleveland back in 2016. Sabonis knew what he was doing yesterday. I think he talked about it after the game. He's like, that's just basketball, you know? Hey, he got his tech, but it ended up getting Draymond kicked out of the game and potentially suspended for the next. He did his job. Whether we like it or not, Draymond Green fell for the bait, and he cannot fall for the bait. Not now, not in this game, and not in this series. It just can't happen. He's been in the league way too long now. These sort of things have happened frequently in the playoffs and throughout his career, and I get it. He lives on that edge. Every other game, every other day we're reacting to a game that Draymond Green does something crazy. We want to get rid of him. Let's trade his ass. Let's cut him now. He's a Laker next year. We don't want that guy. Go ahead. Pay him all that money. Well, you got to take the good as well. And the good Draymond Green, I think, would have helped them down the stretch yesterday. That's what they needed. They needed some of that dribble drive penetration stoppage, if you will, that De'Aaron Fox was able to get. That mid-range was working. He was getting through. And my God, I must have been under a rock. And listen, I'm not tapped into the league pass like a lot of you are, but De'Aaron Fox, my God, this guy, he is the most clutch player in the league right now. In a series in which features Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry, De'Aaron Fox is the most clutch player. He's going up against 3 Hall of Famers in Draymond, Steph, and Klay, future Hall of Famers. Andre Iguodala not there, maybe, borderline. Another one maybe in Andrew Wiggins, if he can be consistent the rest of his career. I'm sure his numbers will say he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But to be the best player on that court, when it's featuring those guys, it can't happen for the Warriors. Stephen Curry has got to be the best player on the court for the Golden State Warriors if they want to repeat. It can't be Clay. It can't be Wiggins. It can't be Jordan Poole. My God, that was the worst pass I've ever seen in my life. In the playoffs, that was one of the worst ones. Late. You're looking for Moody. What was going on there? Just trying to toss it to the corner. I think it was Wiggins there. Just went into the 7th row. Poole has not looked good. I don't know what the answers are if Steph's not going, though. Because Klay Thompson, he's not going to create his own shot. Driving to the rim is not his strength. Wiggins, I thought he was great in the fourth quarter, hitting clutch shots, just keeping them afloat, giving them a puncher's chance, a stomper's chance, if you will. Shout out Stomper the Elephant, as the A's got stomped yesterday. I think it was 10-1. Cody Bellinger with 5 hits. Thus concludes your A's coverage today on the pregame show. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. I would love your calls and texts this morning. Warriors fall to the Sacramento Kings 114-106. They now face an 0-2 deficit here in the first round. The first time ever they have faced an 0-2 deficit under Steve Kerr, and they are 0-9 all-time in the Western Conference playoffs when facing an 0-2 deficit. First time in the Western Conference playoffs, they are facing an 0-2 deficit under the Steve Kerr era. 888-957-9570. More from Draymond Green talking about his leg getting held last game as well.
You said 2 times you've been held with Sabonis, both times?
No, it was Monk last game. Right on the baseline under the rim. So either you're going to stop it. John Goble was looking at Monk hold my leg the last game, and he just let it go. And Zach clearly was watching my leg get held this game and let it go. So I guess ankle grabbing is okay.
Ankle grabbing is not okay. Sabonis was given a technical for that as well, but you also cannot stomp a guy for just grabbing your leg. The visuals were awful, and he could now be potentially suspended for next game at Chase Center. We're going to take a quick break. Come on back. More of your calls, more of your texts. Keep it coming. 888-957-9570. Twitch, YouTube, you guys are on fire. Love y'all. Sacramento Kings defeating the Golden State Warriors 114-106. More reaction coming up next on the pregame show with Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Since first opening it.
Hall & Oates on a Tuesday morning here in San Francisco. Warriors face an 0-2 deficit. They fall to the Sacramento Kings last night in Sacramento, 114-106. Draymond Green ejected after a flagrant foul. Penalty 2 was bestowed upon him after a stomp on Domantas Sabonis' stomach chest thing. Whatever you want to call it. Looked like the chest, looked like the bottom of the abdomen. I don't know what it was. Sabonis grabbed his leg. He also received a tech, but can't do that. The optics, where you are, the reputation you've had, NBA commissioner in the building, it just had all the recipe for an ejection, and that is ultimately what happened to Draymond Green. Adam Silver, he ordered the code red.
Did you order the code red? You're damn right I did!
Such a good movie. Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise, just elite acting at the highest level. Basketball at the highest levels in the playoffs, we usually think. For the Golden State Warriors on offense, it hasn't really been the case so far this season. 2 games in. 3 of 13 for Steph from beyond the arc. 2 of 8. Wiggins beyond the arc. 9 of 19 overall. I'm not here to... Wiggins... Listen, say what you will, and I think it was Jeff from Philly calling in. He's like, he didn't do anything in the first quarter. I thought Wiggins was the most consistent player the Warriors had yesterday, for the most part. Coming out of just months out of not doing anything, he's playing at a very high level. I have been very pleasantly surprised and impressed with Andrew Wiggins. Say all you want about his absence and what have you and how it affected the team. Him being back, I think the final score would be a lot worse if he was not here. Let's just put it that way. He was keeping the team afloat at times in that fourth quarter. Stephen Curry, he looks like that physicality's getting to him from the Kings. He is running a lot. He is expanding a lot of energy, and his guys around him aren't picking him up. I mean, he's doing everything he can. He's driving to the rack. He's trying to get open, but credit Sacramento. They've been doing a hell of a job on him. I did not expect this to come at all. The defense has been historically not great for the Kings. Historically great offense and historically not that great of a defense. But they've been the better defense in both games, which is nuts. It's been absolutely nuts. Here's Stephen Curry talking about it after the game yesterday and how the pace of play has affected the game.
We both like to play fast. That's kind of our sweet spot. I think we're a little bit more predicated on ball movement and player movement than they are, but they have a lot of athletes, especially D Fox, Monk, with the ball in their hands. They put a lot of pressure when you're at the point of attack. So you have to have 5 guys, locked in on that. I think we've been able to hold up over the course of 48 pretty well. Not getting fatigued or feeling like I feel like we've gotten stronger as the game has gone on. Just got to be able to get out to a little bit better start in terms of not playing fast, but not in a hurry. That's the line that we try to find that sweet spot and that balance, especially with the way that they're guarding us. You got to have some counters to their pressure because they are trying to extend their defense out, and playing fast into that sometimes can get you in a little bit of a rush.
The Kings are taking on the Warriors at their own game, and they're doing it better than them. They're like, hey, you guys, that fast play, that 3-and-D, if you will, yeah, We're faster, we're younger, and we're more explosive on both sides of the ball. We're going to show you this series. That's what they've shown these first 2 games. And they're up 2-0. Charlie in New York City wants to chime in. Hey, Charlie, you used to be a regular on Warriors This Week with Steiny and JD. I used to screen your calls a few years ago. How you doing, man?
Yeah, man. I'm still here, still in New York, still a diehard Warriors fan. I'm sorry if there's background noise. I'm outside.
Oh no, you're good.
Running and. I just what you said, everything you said about the Kings are younger, faster. I mean, the Warriors can't make up for the mistake. The 9 turnovers in the first quarter. Come on, man, you can't. I mean, but this has been the Kerr's Warriors for the last 10 years, but they can't make up for that talent. That there's a lack of talent to make up for those mistakes. You can have 20 turnovers in a game when you have Durant and 3 or 4 year younger Clay, Steph, and Draymond. They're just not as good. They're a tick slower. You could see the way the Kings were running up and down the court. So I don't know going forward what could be done differently in the next 2 games. I actually thought the Kings, after how they pulled out game 1, I thought they were going to blow the Warriors out last night. So, Brown, I don't know what card he has up his sleeve, what Kerr could do to do anything differently. I mean, Poole is unplayable. I mean, he's just, I don't know if his ankle injury bothered him last night, but he was terrible in game 1. And the same scenario from game 1 to game 2. As soon as Curry came out at the end of the first quarter, they flipped the script. They went on a 15-4 run and a chance where the Warriors maybe could have extended that lead, but you can't play Curry 48 minutes. And so I don't know. Obviously, I'm going to be Captain Obvious. They got to win the next 2 and make it a 3-game series. But like you said, at some point they got to win a game on the road. And they, Guru and other people who call the show, there's no switch to flip. This is the regular season Warriors. The Warriors are 44 wins. They're a slightly above average team, and they're playing like a slightly above average team. Anyway, that's my venting.
Appreciate you, Charlie.
I'll keep listening.
Appreciate you chiming in from all the way from New York City. Longtime Warriors fan there, Charlie. And I already saw Joe Shasky walking in, the smirk on his face. Oh my God, he's just like, I'm just going to come in. Usually the crossover is Monday through Friday at 5:45. He wants to give you a little snippet before he heads out real quick. We've just been talking a lot, Joe, and Charlie right there was just alluding to it. The turnovers, the 3-point shooting, it's just, they looked old. Like, I'm just going to say it. The Warriors looked old last night. And you said it in the chat, and I'm just coming to the realization now. Kings are young and fast. The Warriors are looking old and slow. Is that too simplistic of a view?
I mean, sometimes it just is what it is. I mean, like look at all the money and all of the accolades and all the resume. Just forget all of that stuff. Watch the 2 games. You tell me if I were to say, hey, from the 2 games that you've seen, you're allowed to draft players on both teams based on their performance in this series.
Oh, based on the performance.
I don't even know if Steph goes in the top 2 right now. And he probably does now that I take a step back. But like De'Aaron Fox has been outstanding. Kevin Huerter has outplayed Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not just points. It's about
Monk.
hustle plays, deny, great defense, boxing out, extra chance points. Draymond Green, and maybe he's had moments here and there. Sabonis ate their lunch yesterday. Obviously, almost ate his leg as well, but ate their lunch yesterday. What's his face? Harrison Barnes has outplayed them.
This is personal for Harrison Barnes.
Absolutely.
And I don't think, and to their credit, the Golden State Warriors, they're not like taking this game. I don't want to say they're sleeping on the Kings, but it just looks like the Kings want it more at times, Joe. It looks they're hungrier than the Warriors are. And listen, that could make sense because given what the Warriors have gone through this year, they've gone through a lot. This is a very grinding and taxing season coming off a championship. Joe, I'm not here to make excuses for them, by the way, but it makes sense.
They're older. Yeah. Like, it happens. I feel like I'm watching, and maybe I'm proven wrong. Maybe they somehow pulled the rabbit out of the hat and they win 4 out of 5. But it feels like to me, I'm watching the slow, painful death of a dynasty. And it feels like if this thing goes down and the ship goes down, and I want to ride it till the wheels fall off. Not sure that you can afford to do that.
Well, this is kind of what it looks like till the wheels fall off. Are you kidding me? A potential, like, I'm not saying they're going to get swept, but a sweep to the Sacramento Kings in the first round after winning a championship, like that's what it would look like.
It's got a lot of I'm going to give you two different series that this feels like. It feels a lot like the Denver series where the Warriors were on their come up when they were young, because the Warriors will have bursts, but it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Right? Like they get close, they push, and then the young, fresher, hungrier, more lockdown team in the half court makes plays. And then it also feels a lot like the end of that Lakers against the Detroit Pistons.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Kobe, where Chauncey Billups ate their lunch money.
They just looked exhausted after winning 3 straight titles.
They looked like they all hated each other, and they looked like they were old, and it looked like they needed to reset the bad boy. Yeah. And shit, Steve Kerr. I mean, look, Steve Kerr is a champion, all right? There's no doubt about it. He's been a phenomenal coach. I mean, really, you're not going to play Moses Moody for months at a time, and then you're going to play him in arguably the most must-win game of the season.
Let's take out Dante DiVincenzo for the fourth quarter and let's put in Moses Moody. But I mean,
I get why you do it, but shame on you for playing Anthony Lamb and Ty Jerome as much as you did. What are you doing?
Credit to Moses Moody, actually, I thought played pretty well.
No, he did play well.
Which is it was like, hey, Kerr, why weren't you playing this guy all year?
Exactly. That's my point.
Exactly.
And DiVincenzo, this is just not a good matchup for him.
No.
This is not a good series for him. There's really not a guy that I think he marks up well with in the half court. And then offensively, they kind of figured him out. His street ball has diminished over the last couple of months, and I feel like his confidence is taken away, and that's changed a part of his game. GP2 has been much more impactful in this series, and this is what happens in a series. There are certain players who were great all year, and because of the matchup, it just doesn't fit.
No, yeah, and they asked Dante to do so much with the absence of a lot of these guys. He's played more minutes, I'm sure,
100%.
than he's ever played in his life. And listen, playoffs is another animal. That intensity is going up even more, and he's looking fatigued after that. That's Joe Shasky. He's no. He's going to stick around for the crossover next. We didn't even talk about the stomp heard around the world, and we will get into that on the other side. This is the pregame show.
Don't let that mask that they got their butts kicked.
Absolutely.
Don't let that mask that.
On 95.7 The Game.
Hurry in during Ram Truck Month and discover what it truly means.
Welcome back. Pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95-7 the game. Warriors fall to the Sacramento Kings 114-106 as Joe Shasky joins me now of the Morning Roast, as he does each and every day, Monday through Friday at 5:45 at this time. The crossover is what it is dubbed. And Joe, we were just talking about how the team just, let's face it, they looked old in these first two games against the Sacramento Kings. We didn't touch on the biggest story that's probably going to be taking place on every single radio station across the country today, every single media news outlet, the stomp heard around the world, stomp the yard, whatever you want to call it. Draymond Green and Domantas Sabonis, your initial thoughts when that all took place, when it came to Sabonis grabbing the leg, Draymond saying, I'm not coordinated or I'm not flexible, so I have to push off. It's funny, real quick, I've been looking at all the articles surrounding it and the headlines and the people that choose to use the word stomp and then hard step. It's just really funny. It was a stomp. Can we stop tiptoeing around it? It was not a hard step. It was a stomp.
I mean, this is a guy that you need so bad down the stretch to win that game.
Yes, I don't care that they tied it. They needed him in the last 2 minutes.
It's so frustrating. It's just so frustrating. And you expect a guy to, be one of the leaders of the team. Look, did Sabonis grab his leg? Yeah, he did. And they were both wrong. They were both wrong. Would I have liked to see both guys get ejected, I guess, essentially? Yeah, sure. But what Draymond did was ejection worthy, on its own. Forget what Sabonis did. It was ejection worthy. Does he not stomp him if he doesn't grab his leg? Yeah, sure. We could play the woulda, coulda, shouldas. You can't do that, and then you can't scream into the crowd the way that you did during the timeout with the commissioner there. The whole thing was just ridiculous.
Oh, he ordered the code red.
Did you order the code red?
I don't know.
Damn right I did.
No, he did. It's a bit.
They need Draymond Green. It's you've got to be smarter than that. And yes, Sabonis missed both free throws, but they got the ball out of bounds. Even though the Warriors would have gotten the rebound and going in the other direction, they get the ball out of bounds, and Fox hits a big bucket.
Yeah.
And so Steph hit the free throw. Sabonis misses 2 free throws. It could have been a 4-point possession. And so you cannot put yourself in those positions.
No, you absolutely can. And for the Warriors, if it's not Stephen Curry, then who? And Andrew Wiggins, God bless him.
I thought Andrew Wiggins was the best Warrior
he was
last night, given the efficiency.
Oh, absolutely. He was his 3-point shot wasn't there, but 9 of 19, he found that mid-range game, and that's what they've desperately needed.
Trying his ass off on defense.
Exactly. He was making plays left and right, and he was trying the hardest. I mean, I'm not saying Steph and all these other guys aren't trying as much, but I could see how much that Wiggins wants it. Everyone else on the Kings, I think, wants it more than the Warriors do right now. I think they do. I can see.
I don't know. They're executing better. They're
executing better. They're more opportunistic on defense. All the turnovers, the sloppiness. That their head is in the right place more often than not. Listen, if I tell you that the Warriors shot 13 of 40 from beyond the arc, you're probably yeah, they're probably going to lose that game. They only shot 32%. The Kings shot 9 of 38.
I know.
From beyond the arc.
They got an off
in
night.
one.
Well, the Warriors played really good defense, I thought, in the first quarter and a half. The combination that is absolutely killing them is when Fox and Monk are on the floor together. It is destroying them, it feels like. I don't know what the advanced numbers are, but I think they're struggling to stop that. And Sabonis had a great game yesterday. He mucked things up. I thought Trey Lyles did a great job just being absolutely physical. And then the carelessness, the unbelievable amount of carelessness. I wrote that. I threw my notebook in the first quarter. 4 consecutive turnovers,
sloppy,
essentially out of 5 to start the game, all leading to dunks or 3-pointers or 3-point attempts for the Kings. And it's what are you doing? Yeah, I know you referenced the Jordan Poole one. Look, I know he's hurt. Believe me, I know he's hurt, and I feel like we're piling on the guy. He's unplayable right now. Monk has so outplayed him off the bench that they're at such a disadvantage when it comes to that bench situation. And then DDV, this is not a good series for him.
No.
It's not. And so Kuminga is on a milk carton right now. I don't know what's going on there. They went to JaMychal Green for a minute, it felt like.
4 minutes for Jonathan Kuminga last night. 4.
You know what? But this goes back to the coach and I'm going to tell you why this goes back to the coach. You cannot bench guys for months at a time and then expect them to be impact players come April. That's on you. This is year 2. This isn't year 1. Like, this is year 2. You're over there. You blew Ty Jerome and Anthony Lamb for months on end. When they were marginally better in the moment, and you suppressed all your rookies, and now you're in case of emergency break glass situation, and you go to Moody now, and look, Moody looked really good.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, shame on you, coach. Like, I'm sorry, like, your decisions early in the year are coming to roost now.
Well, and just look at that bench activity, to your point. Gary Payton II, the only one that honestly showed up, and then Moody, only in his short stint, he did well, but 4 points. But Gary Payton II, 13. Kuminga, 0. Green, 0. DiVincenzo, 0. Poole, 4 points. It's not going to get it done, man. You need one of these guys to step up, not just Gary Payton II. And you look on the offensive side and the starters, like Clay, he can't create his own shot.
How many times was he on a ISO situation where they were locking down everyone else, and it was either Sabonis or maybe Harrison Barnes or somebody out there on the wing on him, and he's dribbling.
That's not your game, man. Like,
he's a horrible ISO player.
But
great catch and shooter.
To Mike Brown's credit, they're forcing them to do that because they're
genius.
They're hounding Steph.
He got caught up in the air.
Beat you.
He got caught up in the air on multiple occasions, and they bailed him out with one foul call. They were just throwing the ball all over the place.
Yes.
And I love Clay. He can't shake Sabonis on the perimeter.
Listen, like you saw, like Steph was trying to get Sabonis on him every single time, but Fox, to his credit, Malik Monk, all these guys, Mitchell. Like, are you kidding me?
Davion Mitchell's incredible.
He hit the clutch shot to win it basically yesterday to seal the victory. Like, he's been clutch as hell.
Inside Steph Curry.
Have we? I don't want to say we. Maybe I did. Speaking of myself, I think I underrated just how fast and dynamic this Kings offense was. I know they were the best in the regular season. I did not know on the defensive end just how feisty they were.
I agree with you on that.
On the defensive end, I did not know that they had this in them.
Well, I think De'Aaron Fox on numerous occasions, De'Aaron Fox, I will give Harrison Barnes, they did a fantastic job on not allowing Steph Curry to relocate and separate from them. And then I just look at it this way. When you get into these half-court situations late in the game, and Jordan Poole's a non-factor, and he's on the bench, who can beat their man off the dribble? Steph? I mean, the turnover from Steph to Draymond Green, where Davion Mitchell just played the passing lane, it was horrible.
I felt like that happened multiple times. They just telegraphed multiple passes throughout the game. Like, dude, you're not fooling anyone with these plays. Like, what are we doing here?
If you would have told me they had 48 turnovers yesterday, I would have believed you.
They had
how many did they have?
20.
Yeah, well, it felt like 50.
It felt like 22.
It felt like 50.
The Kings 14. So it's not like the Kings they were turning like that's the thing. It felt like early on in that game, the Kings were just asking to get blown out in that first quarter. It was just asking for it. And then every single time, and the Warriors are just scoring points off their turnovers, and then the Warriors are giving it right back to them. So every single time you felt like the Warriors were just going to go on a run or some sort, they throw it right back, and they kept giving them hope. And that's been the name of the game, giving this young team hope, until the hope's going to stay now. Like, they're pumping their chest. They're looking game 3, we win that game, night.
I mean, right now, the champs are on the ropes.
Yeah.
I mean,
they've never came back in their history down 0-2.
It is what it is. I mean, and look, maybe Draymond doesn't play. The crazy thing is that, at least in this series, to my eyes, and I'm sure Bonte will have a different opinion of this, or maybe he won't, I don't know. But to my eyes, I'm not sure Clay and Dre can play on the court together at the same time. Because of there's an offensive stagnant thing going on one end, and then there's some defensive issues on the other end. I liked Clay in the stretch 4 spot. And you notice when Draymond got off the floor, he actually did get some open looks late in that game from three-point land. So I don't know. It felt like to me when Dre and Clay were on the floor together, there were too many times where it was Clay ISO against player X. Good luck. And the ball's in your hands. And I don't like that equation. I liked what they did. When Draymond came off the floor, it did feel like not only did Steph Curry attack the hoop better, it felt like Clay was getting more wide open looks. Now, I'm sure that there's some sort of a rotation. There's some sort of defensive assignment. I haven't had a chance to rewatch the fourth quarter again. But Clay did get good looks down the stretch.
He did. He hit him.
He got good looks, and that's what I'm trying. Like right now, they need Klay Thompson to play like a $40 million player.
Yes,
they desperately need that,
yes.
And so
that goes on both ends of the floor.
I don't know. I don't know how much more you can ask from him on defense, man. Like that's not going to be a strength right now.
It's just,
and that's where it goes back to when I go back to him and Dre on the floor together. If you're going to play Dre and Looney together, which they didn't a lot yesterday, they did not a lot. Like, and Wiggins was gassed. That's another part. Like Wiggins down the stretch was gassed, and it's like, damn it, I wish he was able to be here a week or 2 weeks before.
Exactly.
I mean,
where do they go?
It feels like this is the end.
It does it.
I mean, and look, they can win. They can pull the rabbit out of the hat. But boy, it feels like I'm watching the slow, painful death in Saving Private Ryan where the knife is going into the guy's right through the heart.
Upham being a little bee in the corner. God, I hate that. That always pissed me off in that movie. Love Saving Private Ryan. That's an all-timer if it's on like TNT or something. I'm watching it. But no,
don't let the Draymond thing.
It's going to dominate the news cycle. It's going to dominate.
There was momentum. There was all these things. Like that was not why they lost.
No. But it didn't help. You want
agree.
your DPOI in the final minutes. I know that. Like, do you don't think with the dribble drive penetration of De'Aaron Fox would have been at least hampered a little bit had you had him in that rotation towards the end there? That's Joe Shasky. He's going to be joined by Bonte Hill next. 888-957-9570. Start lining up all those calls for those guys. They are fired up. Kings take out the Warriors 114-106. They take a 2-0 series lead heading into Chase Center. And again, we'll have all the coverage, all postseason long, all first round long. We're hoping it lasts longer than that here at 95.7 The Game. All your Warriors coverage. And be sure to listen tomorrow. Might have a little chance to win a pair of tickets in this series. You got to be listening today and tomorrow to find out more on that. Morning Roast up next. Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky right here on 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game.